נשמת לירן חג'בי, אדם שהגן בגופו על אזרחי מדינת ישראל, גיבור ישראל, יהיה זכרו ברוך. And welcome to all the Torah Anytimes viewers. We would like to start a class of Emunah, teaching how important it is for a person not to follow his brain. Says Rabbi Nachman in Likutei Moharan Tanina in Torah י"ב. כשאדם הולך אחר שכלו וחוכמתו, יוכל ליפול לטעויות ומכשולות רבים. When a person is following after his sechel, his לא עלינו can fall into very bad conclusions. When a person is following his brain. Soon we're going to speak about what does it mean. ולבוא לידי רעות גדולות חס ושלום. And he can end up in a very bad situations in life. ויש שקלקלו הרבה כגון הרשעים הגדולים המפורסמים. It says because many people follow their mind, their sechel, they ended up doing a very bad kilkul. Kilkul, destruction. And they made the whole world follow their mistake. That logically made sense whatever they said. All the bad revolutions in the world happened from logical points. שהטעו את העולם והכל היה על ידי חוכמתם ושכלם, and everything is because of their false, that they followed their logic. ועיקר היהדות, listen what Rabbi Nachman tells us over here, ועיקר היהדות הוא רק ללך בתמימות ובפשיטות. The main point, if somebody is asking you what is Judaism is all about, you want to give me the summary. I want to hear what's the whole Judaism is all about. Says Rabbi Nachman, listen what he says. Lilech betmimut, for a person to be simple. Belishum chokhmot, without any of your own logics. ולהסתכל בכל דבר שעושה, שאם היה שם השם יתברך, ולבלי להשגיח כלל על כבוד עצמו. It says do everything feeling that Hashem is watching you right now. How are you driving whenever you see that the policemen start watching you? Oh. That's what a person is. Every single step that you will do in life, says Rabbi Nachman, a person has to make sure to feel, right now, a Kadosh Baruch Hu, the King of Kings, is watching me. And do not look for your own kavod. Many times a person made a mistake in life. And it is hard for him to admit the mistake that he did in life because he is looking for his own kavod. רק אם יש בזה כבוד השם יתברך יעשה, ואם לאו, לאו. Only if there is כבוד of הקדוש ברוך הוא involved, do it, and if not, not. Can you maybe close the door? הרב אומר שרק להסביר את השורות האלה ייקח עידן ועידנים. כמה סכנה יש שאדם הולך אחרי השכל. It says there is a very bad situation when a person is chas v'shalom is following his brain. So you guys all are going to ask, Rabbi, what do you mean? What, do you expect us not to follow the brain? So what should we follow? What, we should be not smart people? We should behave foolish? So says the Torah, chas v'shalom. HaTorah does not want fool people. On the contrary, the Torah is praising the wisdom of the Jewish people, and the Torah testifies that your wisdom will be glorified by the words of the Goyim. As the pasuk says, "Ushmatem v'asitem ki hi chokhmatchem." The Torah's wisdom is your chokhmah. Ubinatchem le'nei ha'amim. V'gam ken katuv v'amru kol hagoyim. All the nations, says pasuk in Torah, that the goyim are going to call the Jewish people rak am chacham v'navon. Smart is this nation, and navon this nation. Klomar Hashem ge'eh b'chokhmah shel Am Yisrael. Hashem wants Am Yisrael to be showing their wisdom, showing their chokhmah. So how can Rabbi Nachman tell us over here that whoever follows his wisdom in life is going to fall into a very bad situations in life? The Torah testifies that you're supposed to follow your chokhmah. אלא שצריך לדעת שהשם יתברך נתן את כל השכל והחוכמה רק כדי להכיר את מציאות השם. רבותיי, I have to remember this is a very important concept in life. The whole purpose of this creation is for us to reveal the will of Hashem. That's why it's very interesting in Hebrew, the word land is called arza. Arza. How do you spell out Arza? Aleph, Resh, Tzadik, Hey. Arza. Whoever knows Hebrew, Arza is land, but Ratza is Ratzon, is the will. Ratzon, the will of who? Of Aleph. Who is Aleph? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's that the letter Aleph is broken down to Yud, Yud, and a Vav, which is forming the name of Yud Ke, Vav Ke is 26. So the whole point of this world, of this creation, is to reveal the will of Aleph, the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it says that's the reason Hashem created the world, and that's the reason Hashem gave every one of us brain. The brain supposed to lead us to the will of Hashem. Says Rabbi Nachman, אלא שצריך לדעת שהשם יתברך נתן את כל השכל והחוכמה רק כדי להכיר את מציאות השם, ולא נתן השם שכל וחוכמה לאדם כדי שתעלים את מציאות השם יתברך. When is the moment, says Rabbi Nachman, that you're supposed to drop off your brain? You're supposed to dump your brain. Logical, you make sense, but don't follow this logic. When? Whenever, if you will follow the logic, if you will follow your brain, the end result will be blocking Hashem from the world. A person right now is coming home, and his wife gave him such an insult that he's not very happy to hear. Logically, she is wrong. Every person in the world will tell you, for such a statement, I would definitely divorce. And logically, you make sense. No normal woman is supposed to say such a line to her husband. So if a person will, at that moment, use his brain, and will follow that brain, and we have a rule, every action has reaction. So if that's the action you behaved with me, the rule of nature is that you're going to get reaction. So if you called the police and made different things about me that I never did to you, what should have been the reaction? Revenge. I'll take care of you. I'm waiting around the corner to get you. If that moment whenever the wife called the police, whenever your friend did something very harmful to you, that you're very upset at that moment, logically it makes sense to revenge. He called the 311 on you, you call the 311 on him, he also is making an extension that is illegal. Logical, it makes sense, nachon? Whatever you do, he's gonna get. What goes around, comes around. That's logical, nachon? The guy took your client the other time that you offered him your service and you wanted to be the exclusive. And the guy called to somebody that he knows somebody and he took the rights of this house to be him exclusive, not you. What's logic says? Get him. Get him. Wait for him around the corner. Rabotai, if you're going to follow this, whatever we're going to say over here, your life is going to change. Your life is going to change. There is unfortunately two big tragedies that happen in the community. Not too long ago, a few days ago. Tzaddikim people are leaving the world in such a young age. And you're going to ask yourself, listen, logically, it doesn't make sense. And what did I tell you? Tonight I'm going to give you the answer, remember? There is a moment that our logic is, if you will follow it, you're going to go against Hashem. Says Rabbi Nachman, whenever you get to a point that your logic goes against Hashem, drop the logic. Don't follow this logic. But why is it like this? I don't know. I have God. He knows. As the pasuk says, Reshit Chokhmah Irat Hashem. The whole purpose of the Chokhmah, the whole beginning, Reshit is beginning. The whole purpose God gave us Chokhmah is to see Hashem in our life. So if the moment your Chokhmah is saying, he did this to you, your neighbor did this to you, do back, get him back. Amen. So at that moment, do you see in that moment with your Chokhmah that you have the ways and the connection how to call the DOB right now and get the guy back, and you have the right people, the right numbers and the right buttons to press to get him back? Are you going to do the same thing to him now? Logically, that's the way it should have been. You go to any lawyer, you go to any person that finished very high colleges, very high universities. Logically, they'll tell, listen, he got you, get him back. He also has a property that he's building somewhere, nachon? Don't forget, you also know a few numbers. Says Rabbi Nachman, the moment that your logic contradicts finding Hashem, drop the logic. When I prepared you this shiur, I got so much chizuk myself. It's like, wow, what a word. Says Rabbi Nachman that if a person will follow his logic, he will fall to the biggest trap in life. To the point that he will lose Hashem in the world. From a revenge about a neighbor, from a revenge about your mother-in-law, from a revenge to your brother-in-law, from something that you want to return back, because logically that's the way it's supposed to be. You're going to lose HaKadosh Baruch Hu chas v'shalom. And the whole purpose of this world, what did we say? Arza? Reveal Ratzon of Aleph, Ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the whole world of the creation. That you, in any situation, say, this was the will of Hashem. I see Hashem. I don't see neighbor that called 311. I don't see brother-in-law that set my mother-in-law against me. I don't see this. My chokhmah, reshit chokhmah, my beginning of my wisdom, irat Hashem. Beginning of the chokhmah is supposed to lead you to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What is irat Hashem, Rabotai? So the simple understanding of irat Hashem is to fear Hashem. But how do you fear Hashem? Whenever you see Hashem in every situation. How do you fear the police? When you know the police is behind you, you start fearing them. When you will feel like Kadosh Baruch Hu is here, is with me, is watching me every single second, at that moment your behavior with all your life, with your co-workers, with your boss, with your neighbors, with your brother, with your sister, is going to change. Who was following his logic, says Rabbi Nachman, proving, what I like about Rabbi Nachman, besides the fact that he's Gaon Gadol Bechol Torah Kula, you read a little bit of his, you read one Torah of him and you see Zohar, Gemarot, Rashi, Pirushim, Rambam, it's like, wow. You know, he's not only a person that is telling you be a good person. He is proving, where did I get this concept from? I'm not just making up things to you. There is a Gemara, Rabotai, in Masechet Chulin. Masechet Chulin, Gemara in page Kuf Membet, talking about Elisha ben Abuya. Says the Gemara, you know who was Elisha ben Abuya? He was the teacher of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. The teacher of Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, the Gemara says, was such a giant that whenever he said something, he could have proved his point 150 ways. Imagine if I'll tell you halakha is to say on the watermelon, Borei Pri Adama. And I have to bring to you 150 reasons why is this Borei Pri Adama. Imagine how genius you gotta be. And every single reason, everybody understood, agreed. And now Rabbi Meir says, now I'll give you 150 reasons why it's not Borei Pri Adama. And Chachamim said, wow, you know, it makes so much sense. 150 reasons just gave us why it's Adama, and then he flipped 150 reasons opposite, and he said it's not Adama. And it all made sense. Bottom line, Adama. I'm telling you, it was Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes' teacher was Elisha ben Abuya. Says the Gemara in Masechet Chulin Daf Kuf Membet. I said to my chavruta when I prepared you the shiur, I said, how are we going to remember the page? Huh? Kuf Membet is Ba Mikan Kofer. Ba Mikan Kofer, backwards, Kuf Membet. And what did he become from holy? He became Chulin, so it's Masechet Chulin. That's how you're going to remember the page. The Gemara says over there, like this. הגמרא מספרת במסכת חולין את המעשה שממנו החליט רבי אלישע בן אבויה להיות אפיקורוס ולכפור בהשם. He says, what caused Elisha ben Abuya, such a giant, רבותיי, imagine, רב עובדיה יוסף of the generation. What caused him to go against Hashem? Says the Gemara that he saw a child that his father asked him, go up the tree and take down the mitzvah of Shiloh HaKen. The mitzvah of sending the birds the mother away and take the birds to yourself, the children. Now those two mitzvot, Rabotai, is the only mitzvot that the Torah promised long life. Arichut Yamim. He did the mitzvah according to his father's will. He did the mitzvah of sending the mother away, and he drops dead. The Gemara didn't say that that's the only thing he saw. He saw another thing also. And that was mamash shocking me. Listen what the second thing he saw. גמרא מספרת שהוא ראה את הלשון של רבי חוצפית המתורגמן. There was one big rabbi, Rabbi Chutzpit המתורגמן, that he was a big Tana. Imagine in your understanding, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, Baba Sali. He saw his tongue was thrown on the floor, and dogs ate his tongue. Yeah. The government, the Goyim, killed him. They threw him on the floor, and dogs came and ate his tongue. He was a Rav Ovadia Yosef of the generation. He taught everybody Torah. Everybody was understanding whatever he said. He was tzaddik gamur. And what was his result at the end of his life? That his tongue was not even buried, was eaten by dogs. Just imagine right now, you see Rav Ovadia Yosef laying on the floor. Dogs are coming and eating his tongue. What happens in your mind at that moment? That's the Torah as a reward? That's what you get at the end?
You don't know what, on his level,
ומזה נסדק אמונתו, הוא פרק עול תורה והלך עם נשים. It says that when he saw those two things, his Emunah broke. He went, start doing prohibited things with women. He broke Yom HaKippurim, and he made a lot of more עבירות קשות ביותר. Elisha ben Avuya. וזה מה שרבי נחמן says רבי נחמן, that's the point that I'm telling you. There'll be situations in life that you will see, and you say, how does it make sense? Where is the logic in the story? This woman is praying for a child for so many years. Tzadikah, head cover, mikveh, ta'aniyot, prayers, ti'ilim, akol. And this woman goes naleva and does prohibited things. She got pregnant.
every year.
So you're looking at these two things, you say, listen, what is the right way over here? I'm looking at the right, I want to do the right things. And yet I see the results in the wrong ways. So if you will use your mind at that situations, what Yetzer Hara will lead you to follow the tzaddikim or to follow the reshaim? That's what happened to Elisha ben Avuya. When Elisha ben Avuya, he sees a child go up the ladder. He's coming on his way down according to his father's will, and he drops dead. Where's the long life? The rabbi is supposed to have Tana. Rabotai, who made a mistake of whatever Rabbi Nachman is telling us? Who made a mistake? Tana. You understand who Yetzer Hara can tackle? Don't think to me it's not going to happen. Tana, that was able to tell to a dead person, get up, he gets up from his tomb. You understand what is Tana? He comes to not a sick person on a wheelchair. He's coming to a dead person, he's dead. He's in the grave. Tells him, get up, he gets up. You understand who's Tana? Such a high level person, Tana. From the highest league. Elisha ben Avuya. Says Rabbi Nachman Mibreslev, what was his mistake? He followed the logic. There'll be situations in your life that logically, it doesn't make any sense what happens. Says Rabbi Nachman, in that moment, when your logic leads you to leave Hashem, leads you to go against the Emunah, drop the logic. If there is a arm wrestling between Emunah and your logic, drop the logic. Let the Emunah win. Ki ha-sechel, he says, because the whole purpose of the sechel is to serve the Emunah. Hashem created the world for us to develop our Emunah in Hashem. In order for us to get that, Hashem gave us the brain. So comes out that the point of the brain is to lead us. I want to believe in Hashem. No matter what I'm going to see in life, the end, the destination of my mind should lead me. Hashem is the best. Hashem knows what He's doing. The moment that your mind is taking you to another type of thoughts, at that moment you drop your mind. Lose it. Don't think about it. Logical, it doesn't make sense. You're right. That's the point HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you. At this moment, block your brain. Do not continue to let the thoughts run in your mind. Say, Hashem, I believe in you, that's the best. I don't know why. ואם חס ושלום השכל מעלים את האמונה, אסור להסתכל על השכל. Because what did we say? What's the conclusion of all Judaism? עיקר היהדות, ללכת בתמימות. The main point of Judaism is for a person to go tamim. To go with, איך אומרים תמים אתם? Simplicity. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you know better. And Rashi says, very interesting Rashi, I saw this Rashi, I prepared it over here, not to forget. Rashi says, what is Tamim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha? I'm reading to you Rashi. This Rashi, you can open, it's in Sefer Dvarim, chapter 18, Pasuk 13. Says Rashi, listen what Rashi says. Tamim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha. Be simple with Hashem, right? Says Rashi, what does it mean be simple with Hashem? Hitalech imo betmimut, v'titzapeh lo. Be simple with whatever you have situations in life and wait for the salvation to come. Velo tachkor achar ha'atidot. And do not worry about what's going to be tomorrow. Rashi's interpretation of the word, what does it mean? Be simple with Hashem. Tamim, it's a mitzvah in the Torah. Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Whatever situations you will see in life, says Rashi, accept it with simplicity. Wait for him to give you the salvation from your situation, from the closed, uncovered problem that you see. Velo tachkor achar ha'atidot. And do not search what's going to be tomorrow. Do not worry what's going to be tomorrow. Close that mind. The mind is many times occupied and leads us to wrong conclusions. When that's the tool of Yetzer Hara against us. If you're going to let your wife behave with you today like this, what's going to be tomorrow? If I'm going to let this competitor get by with the claim that he filed against me, and I'm not going to show him that I am a strong guy, what's going to be tomorrow? Anytime Yetzer Hara is leading a person to do wrong things, just because he knows the weak points of us. And he's telling us, if you're going to let it go right now, what's going to be tomorrow? And a person is coming with a good intensive in his mind, incentive in his heart. He says, that's the right thing. I have to protect myself.
It's the way of the world.
And that's how he starts to make every falls in the world. Any problem in the world starts with this type of mindset. What's going to be tomorrow?
Human logic.
So what is Rabbi Nachman telling us at that moment? Our mitzvah, and this is a mitzvah written in Torah, be simple with Hashem. Tamim, be simple. Why is it like this? I don't know. Be simple, hitalech. And Rabbi Nachman says, very interesting words. He says, this is the ikar. This is, how you say ikar in Hebrew? In English. Huh?
It's the primary.
Primary, thank you. That's the primary point of Judaism. Not your kippah, not your beard, not your mezuzah, not your brit, not your tefillin, not your shacharit, not your mikveh, not your nothing. If you want to have the primary, all these things, what's the primary? What's the root? What all this supposed to lead me to? To be simple with the situations you have in life. And Rabotai, don't think because you ended up a barber or a lawyer or somebody else, you have a harder life, but somebody else that has a degree, he has a better life, he has an easier life. No matter who you're going to end up in life, you're always going to go through tests, no matter who you are. You could be the biggest rabbi, as we saw, Elisha ben Avuya. People that were Tanaim telling to dead people get up, and they used to get up. To such a person, Yetzer Hara is also going to tease, he's also going to find his weak points, and he's going to say, this makes sense, that this child goes up according to his father's will, he does a bigger mitzvah of Arichut Yamim, and he drops dead. Does it make sense? Rabotai, at the end of days, Rabbi Nachman writes, before Mashiach is coming, the biggest test will be the test of Emunah. And only when a person has Emunah, he has happiness in life. And you see what's going on in the generation. How much is needed, this Emunah. That's why I said, I can't see all these problems we have in the community. Phone calls day and night. Rabbi, talk to my husband. Rabbi, talk to my wife. Rabbi, talk to my children. It's so much, Rabotai. And I'm not a Shalom Bayit person. And we get so much of it. So I said we have to sacrifice one night for this type of lesson, the lesson of Emunah. Says the rabbi over here, לא צריך לעניין את האדם מה יהיה בעתיד. אסור ללכת אחרי השכל. It's forbidden for a person to follow his logic. When the logic is contradicting the Emunah in Hashem. If that logic is telling you right now revenge, Hashem said don't revenge. Drop your logic. This logic says right now, it's okay for you not to keep Shabbat. Why? Because your brother tried to keep Shabbat and he closed the business. How many times people try to be barbers and they stop working on Shabbat? The business das vidanya show. So the brother that is also a barber, he was thinking about keeping Shabbat. And he sees his brother has to close the business when he starts keeping Shabbat. So logically it doesn't make sense to close on Shabbat, Rabbi. If you'll follow your logic, you're going to end up doing the worst things in the world. Now listen up right now to cases that the Rabbi is giving us over here in our generation that happened. Rabbi Ayal Amrami gave those cases. הרב מספר על אישה חרדית שהייתה בקבלת קהל שמספרת ש12 שנה היא נשואה לבעלה. There was a religious woman married 12 years to her husband. ויש להם 3 ילדים, 3 kids. ובעלה דואג שיהיה לה רק טוב, אבל אין לה שום רגש ואהבה לבעלה. Her husband wants always for her to always be happy. Very good husband. She says it to the rabbi. We have kids. We have Shalom Bayit. He worries about me. He does everything for me. But look what she says. He says, Rabbi, but I don't feel any love. If you ask my heart, I feel nothing towards him.
She's sick.
I don't know what to do. 12 years together, 3 kids. Aisha Kibla, she said, I'm going to go pray. 40 days straight, 3 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up, she goes to the grave of Rachel Imenu, Kever Rachel. She said over there, Slichot, it was from Elul till El Kippur. She said Slichot over there, Alot HaShachar. She prayed Netz over there. And all 40 days, she's asking from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, one request. Achat sha'alti me'et Hashem. Only one request. Hashem, put love in my heart towards my spouse. Even though she had sick parents and a sick child. She didn't ask anything about it. Just one point she wants to get. Her heart is cold. She doesn't feel anything towards her husband, even though she admits that the husband is a very good person. Aisha Biksha Me'arav, she said, Rabbi, I tried my best. 40 days, I went straight. I did not miss one day. And the end, Rabbi, 40 days passed, and no answer. I feel total cold towards my husband. I'm asking you, please give me permission to divorce my husband.
Even after 40 days.
She said, I cried in every single prayer, 40 days straight. 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up the best time. And not only that, she came to the Rabbi Amrami, and she asked him permission after she asked other rabbis. That other rabbi said, listen, Shulchan Aruch says you have to love your spouse. Shulchan Aruch says you cannot get married to a woman until you see her. Because it's a mitzvah of love. She said, I can't do that. I don't love him. I don't know why. I don't love him. The rabbi told her, logically, it makes sense. Logically, you have to love your spouse. You don't love, so it's not for you. Divorce. That's the logic.
Very easy.
But would you find Hashem? That's Hashem that is source of all shalom in the world. Will be happy that you will divorce him?
No.
Believe HaKadosh Baruch Hu right now that that's the best for you. How is it the best? That's the part of the Emunah. That's whenever your logic has to stop. And from this point and on, you say, Hashem, you know what to do. I don't know. You have to drop at certain level your logic. Logically, it doesn't make sense. You still have to go with that. Just accept it. Says Rabbeinu בליקוטי ההלכות, שעיקר הקלקול של האדם היא החוכמה. He says, you know what's the main distractions of the person? His wisdom. His wisdom.
Wisdom?
His intellect. His intellect.
Intellect.
His intellect. The biggest kilkul, the biggest disasters in person's life started from his intellect. From his sechel. I'll give you where. A person that is very sharp and very smart, he calculates things very quick. So as soon as he sees situations that doesn't have justice, how do you say this?
Things that are not just.
Not just?
Or things or injustices.
Injustices. Logically, he start running all the calculations right now. And he will come to a conclusion that that's not fair. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing things without tzedek, without justice in the world. And another conclusion that the Yetzer Hara wants you to get to is that a person is giving that Hashem is giving to a person nisyonot, situations, shelo yachol lamod b'hem. Many times people have a test and they say, Rabbi, this test,
I can't pass.
I can't. That's it. This one I can't.
Exactly. Then what?
That's one of the conclusions that Yetzer Hara leading your chokhmah to come to. Because when you got you to that, that's called giving up level. You know what was the Arizal says, and Rabbi Nachman quotes him also. Rabbi Nachman is also very good with quoting Arizal a lot. Arizal says, what is the 50th level of Tum'ah? When we say, if Am Yisrael will get to the 50th level of Tum'ah, they will not be able to come out of there. What is that 50th level? When a person is giving up hope. Giving up hope, the highest level of Tum'ah means to say the worst one, all the way down there. The 50th level it's called. When a person gave up, giving up hope, it's called Yeush. And Rabbi Nachman said, that's what I came to the world to fight. En Yeush ba'olam klal. רבנו שאג בקול גדול, אין שום ייאוש, אין שום ייאוש, אין שום ייאוש בעולם כלל. רבנו שאג בקול גדול, אין שום ייאוש, אין שום ייאוש, אין שום ייאוש בעולם כלל. מצווה גדולה להיות בשמחה, להיות בשמחה תמיד. מצווה גדולה להיות בשמחה, להיות בשמחה תמיד. And so it says Rabbi Nachman over here in Likutei Halachot, עיקר הקלקול של האדם היא החוכמה. The main disaster of people in situations in life is his wisdom, is his intellect. That he is coming to such a conclusions that it's not fair that my sister have that problem and my husband has that problem and my parents has this situation. That's not fair, Hashem. And whenever it's not fair, Yetzer Hara's next step, you drop everything. Not Shabbat, not Kashrut, not Tzniut, not nothing. Everything goes out of the window. What's the reason? Because you came to a conclusion. That's not fair. That's not the way. If you breach the contract on your end, I'm going to breach it on my end. ובאמת צריך להאמין שצדיק השם ועושה לאדם ניסיונות. A person have to believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is tzaddik and is giving a person tests. רק לטובתו, only for him, for his good. And only at the level that you can handle. And even if your sechel will say, this, I cannot handle. When they tow my car away, I can handle. Whenever the pipe bursts in my ceiling, I can handle. But whenever my brother embarrassed me in front of everybody in the party, this I cannot handle. The person can chas v'shalom put an end to his life. Whenever he's coming in his mind to a conclusion, this I cannot handle. It's too much. And that's one of the tricks how Yetzer Hara wants us to get to, in order to give up hope. And that moment, says Rabbi Nachman, how do you come out of these wrong conclusions? Drop your sechel. Why is this woman that trying to get child for so many years is not successful, and this Resha'id doing such an Avera, she got pregnant? Where's the logic? What's the answer? I don't know. But I know that Hashem does the best for her, and Hashem does the best for this. How? He says, in this moment, stop. Don't continue thinking why. Don't let the calculation run in your mind. When you buy a property, make calculations. When you're looking to investment, make your calculations. When you're coming to just to calculate Hashem's moves in the world, stop your calculations. As the pasuk says, "Va'anachnu amcha v'tzon maritecha." We are your sheep, your cattle, and you are the shepherd. Why a sheep has a sechel? Why the balabai takes him right now from this location to a different location? The sheep has a intellect, understanding? No. It says that's our Kadosh Baruch Hu. David HaMelech says that's the highest service of Hashem. Va'anachnu amecha tzon maritecha. We are your nation. Why we are your nation? Because we are tzon. What is tzon? How do you say it in English? Cattle? Flock? Flock. The sheep. The sheep. Flock. In many situations, love Rabotai, a person have to behave like a sheep. Ma'anesh baram, Rabbi. Gospa, ничего не важно. Bukhari have a saying, right? Goshash Goshi Gospan. I call it. Ya parche Gosh. I call him Gosh. Yeah, Goshi Gospa. Beit Yosef. אין לנו שכל, אין לנו הבנות. מה שנתת לנו, השם יתברך, איתו אנחנו נחיה. אדם שיש לו בן שמביא, okay, we'll skip that point. המהר"ל הקדוש, I'm on the bottom of the second page. And המהר"ל הקדוש says, what will be the reward of a person that drops his logic and he goes with simplicity with Hashem? Listen what the מהר"ל מפאג says. You know what the מהר"ל מפאג was? Huh? He was one of the only rabbis in the world in the history that created a person. The מהר"ל מפאג. That's how great in Kabbalah he knew, besides the Gemarot, the Halachot, that he knew. Says the מהר"ל, a person that will be going with simplicity in his life, Hashem is going to redeem him mikol tzara u'ba'aya. Hashem is going to redeem him from any problem in the world. Means if you are not redeemed from your problem, it means that you're still lacking following God with simplicity. Umagen alav mikol hatzerorim, and you will be protected from all types of enemies. Benishmato tiyeh nitzchit, and his neshama will live forever. Certain neshamot doesn't make it forever, right? Hashem is going to help you to that your neshama will stay forever, if one condition is met. Well, Aaron, what's the condition? If you follow Hashem, simplicity. Why is this like this? I don't know. Hashem knows. Hashem doing the best. So dabosh, right? הרי יוצא לנו שאדם שתמים עם השם מרוויח שני דברים גדולים. So if a person that is simple with Hashem, he's going to be rewarded with two things. That all of his problems are going to be solved. And his neshama is going to be forever in front of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Means to say he's not going to sin to a point that Chas v'Shalom is going to make his neshama get lost. And one of the ways that Yetzer Hara is tricking you is by making you think that logically you're right. Logical, it makes sense whatever you think. This is a trick, this is a trap that Yetzer Hara is leading us all to. ובשיחות הר"ן, רבנו נחמן has also conversation at the שיחות הר"ן is called. אומר רבי נחמן, חוכמה גדולה, you know, this Torah that we started is the 12th Torah, right? 12th Torah is Rabbi Nachman himself wrote. Certain Torah of Rabbi Nachman, his student, Rabbi Natan wrote. The Torah 12, he wrote it himself. Rabbi Nachman himself. So that's why I said we'll start with Kodesh HaKodashim. ובשיחות הר"ן אמר רבי נחמן, חוכמה גדולה ללכת כמו בהמה. You know what's the highest level of חוכמה? To understand that you don't understand Hashem. Highest level. It calls it like an animal. Behema does not understand the master. It says the highest level of wisdom, Rabbi Nachman writes, ללכת אחרי Hashem כמו בהמה. Follow HaKadosh Baruch Hu like a behema, like an animal. Like an animal in the simplicity point of it. Not like an animal in an animalistic point of it. Simplicity. I don't know why. The Balabait knows.
Isn't that the whole point of learning Torah already? You're trying to tap into to a certain level to Hashem to understand how He thinks.
That's what Rabbi Nachman exactly is tackling. That Yetzer Hara wants us to think like this. That we should get to the full, to the depth. Why? It says that's what Yetzirah wants you to come to, and he's going to justify your thoughts that you are doing the right thing.
Learning the Torah will bring a person to understanding how great Hashem, that then will bring you to simplicity.
Right.
Not to be Mahmoud on it.
Right.
The opposite.
And it says, the pasuk says, Rabbi Nachman, where do we know that when a person is supporting the idea of Ramaran Mipag? It's beautiful how the Chacham over here is putting so many Chachamim's concepts to the same conclusion. He says, where do we know? The Maran Mipag said that when a person is accepting his situations in life with simplicity, Hashem knows why. Hashem knows better. Hashem is going to take him out of the problem. And I found, not too long ago, we did Siyum Masechet with you, Mula Aaron. And I found in Masechet Brachot, Daf Samech Bet, proofs to that. Gemara says, when a person has problems in his life, things doesn't go his way. He's trying to get married, he's trying to have a child, he's trying to move, buy a house. It doesn't start, doesn't move. Everything is stuck. It says, how can I start moving it? Accept it. Gemara writes it. Masechet Brachot, page Samech Bet. Gemara says, Kabbalah de Isure Shtikuta. Ummibai Rahame. That's the language of God. You want to stop the problem? Accept the problem.
It's not you.
Huh? No. Yeush is, I don't deserve that thing. The Yeush is, if you're not following this Torah. That's what it's going to lead to Yeush. Because how are you going to get to giving up hope? When you came to a lot of conclusions in your mind that logically doesn't make sense. So I'm giving up. I want to follow the right thing, and I see whoever follows the right thing doesn't get necessarily good in life. So I'm giving up on this. You're giving up, that's Yeush.
You're saying accept situation and you're giving up what you want. No?
And, right. You say, Hashem, I'm nullifying. In English, they say there is a word, surrender, or something like that. Surrender my desire. I don't understand. That's exactly what Rabbi Nachman's point is. That will be situations in life that you have to come to a limit of your mind.
I just can't get the different between accepting and giving up.
Say Baruch Hashem.
Look, your mind is supposed to lead you to recognize Hashem. Reshit Chokhmah, Irat Hashem. That's the mind. The mind is supposed to lead you to realize Hashem in the world. If your mind does not lead you to realize Hashem in the world, stop that mind. Use the mind to build business. Use your mind to how to cook food, how to come in a synagogue in the morning. Use your mind for other things. When you come, if your mind is leading you that there is injustice in the world, that Hashem is not doing the right things. If I would be Hashem, I will make different things in the world. I will do a better job. If that's what it leads you to, drop your mind. It says the highest level of Chokhmah, Chokhmah Gedolah, Lalechet Kmo Behema Acharei Hashem. Let Hashem run the world. How are you going to let Hashem run the world? Accept whatever happens to you in your life. Hashem, I know that you're doing the best. Why is it happening to me? I don't know. But I trust you, Hashem, that you're doing the best. Animal, the sheep, knows why the Balabai takes it from one place to another place? No. He asks, sheep, why is it taking you? What is it going to do to you? I don't know. I don't even worry about it. Why is it taking me here or there? It's not even in my logic to start trying to figure out why. The boss, Balabai, said, over here. He wants me to move to a different apartment over there. He wants me not to have a child, so he's not going to have me a child. I'm trying, my job is to try. The result is up to him. Emunah היא כמו כבר גרעין באדמה. He says, very interesting. When is Emunah is going to help you? Listen to what he says. האמונה היא סדר זרעים. כלומר, מה שאדם מתבטא להשם יתברך, כמו שגרעין מתבטא לקרקע, אז יוצא עץ שצומח ומלבלב. He says, Emunah is like a seed. זורע צדקות, מצמיח ישועות. He says, when seed makes a tree grow, when you plant the seed in the ground, and the seed is still on his own entity, he still has the shell, is still tough inside the ground. Would that seed, would that zera able to grow a tree? No. When is the seed going to develop a tree? Only whenever he surrendered to the ground. He gave up, that's it. Only whenever you gave up, what you gave up? What you gave up? Your logic, You push it aside. Your logic is the klipa that makes you not see Hashem. So whenever your logic is developing a klipa not to see Hashem, drop the logic. Here is Hashem and here is your brain. It's blocking. You can't see it. Drop the logic. Imagine a person is saying, Hashem, I'm trying to get myself wet. Why am I not getting wet? I pray for so much rain. And the guy that hears him praying to God, he sees that this guy is holding an umbrella. And he's saying, Hashem, why am I not getting wet? I want to get wet. I'm praying so much for rain. So what will be the answer? If you will stand next to this guy, what are you going to tell him? Drop the umbrella, you get wet. The umbrella is the blockage, right? Says Rabbi Nachman, there are times that our mind serves, it behaves like the umbrella. Throw the umbrella, throw that mind out, and accept that situation is the best for me. Hashem, you know better. What am I, Gaon Ador? I barely know how to run my house. I barely know how to manage my house. I will be able to manage the whole world. So it's very interesting that he says that when is the seed is growing a tree, only whenever the shell is breaking. The klipa is broken. When the klipa is broken, when the shell is broken, now the tree is going to start growing.
Sure.
So if you want exactly your salvation to grow, you have to break the blockages that does not let you see Hashem. ואז האמונה היא כמו הקרקע, שאם אדם מתבטל כלפיה, יצא משהו מצוין. הרב נותן דוגמה לאישה שהפריעה למאוד שבעלה יוצא כל יום חמישי לרקוד. Look at this situation, very interesting situation. Another case that happened to this rabbi is sharing with us. He says there was one woman that came to him. He said, Rabbi, every Thursday my husband goes up to pubs, to clubs. Her husband, religious people. He goes over there, דאו תרם וכיפויים. Not a kosher club. He goes over there every Thursday. Religious people, the husband and wife. She comes to him and she complains. Now, what's the logic would say? However he does, you do. What goes around, comes around. במידה שאדם מודד, מודדים לו. However he behaves, you behave. He goes to the club, you also go to the clubs. He does to you this thing, tomorrow tell him no lunch for you. You don't listen to me, why should I listen to you? Tomorrow you want palo, you're not going to get palo. Cereal milk. That's the logic, right? Listen what the rabbi answered her. He tells her, you asked him not to go? Yeah. He didn't listen? Yeah. Accept from HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the best. How is it the best? He goes over there, women, men, what? How is this the best? Logical, it makes sense to you? That is the best? No. So that's the whole idea. When it comes to that your logic is going to contradict God's, drop your logic. Listen what happened. Few months passed. They come back to the rabbi, and the husband asking the rabbi for a blessing. Why? Because his legs are so hurting. He cannot not only not jump and dance, he cannot walk on his legs. So the husband tells the wife, he said, probably you prayed that I should have a pain in my legs, right? So he says, no, I didn't pray that you should have pain in your legs. I prayed that you should not be able to dance anymore. So if right now she will follow the logic, she will lose her husband, nachon? She will lose all the children and the shalom bayit and all that the son is going to start in her life, nachon? If she will follow her logic. Logical, yeah. You go to any lawyer, any marriage counsel will tell you, what? That's what he does? Fight back.
Bring money.
אומר רבנו נחמן הקדוש, וצריך להתלכלך בכל מיני רפש וטיט בשביל אהבת השם. It says a person is supposed to get ready to make himself so dirty and so belittled by others that people should tell him, what a friar. I say friar in English. Huh? The friar bill, huh? Loser. What a loser you are. That's the way he's doing, that's what she's doing. Show him, show her. It says Rabbi Nachman, pray for HaKadosh Baruch Hu that people should tell you this. To put down your ego, put down your gava. That people should be bothering you, that your gava should all be all the way on the bottom. We always will look just for the opposite. that people should praise us, how smart we are. Says Rabbi Nachman, "Betzarich litlachlech bechol minei refesh vetit." You have to be ready to get yourself so dirty that people will look at you in a very not normal way, and they'll tell you you're such a loser. I will be making her tzike for doing such a thing. At that moment, this guy is turning you on against her, or turning her on against you. Logical? He says, yeah, it makes sense. It's true. It makes sense what he's saying. What Rabbi Nachman telling us? When your sense, when your logic goes against the will of Hashem, Hashem wants to have Shalom Bayit, accept it. Drop your logic. The last thing, Rabotai, okay. Belina will continue this point in the next time. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen. I would like all of us to have a song together. And the Rabotai, through the Shiurim, we're going to have, the format is going to be Divrei Torah, a song. Divrei Torah, a song. So you get ready to clap your hands and to sing. The more you'll do so, the more the knowledge that we will learn is going to penetrate into our heart. Veten banu, everybody clap. Veten banu Emunah shlema, להאמין שהכל לטובה, לומר לך תודה. ותן בנו אמונה שלמה, להאמין שהכל לטובה, לומר לך תודה. ותן בנו אמונה שלמה, יוסף, להאמין שהכל לטובה, לומר לך תודה. ותן בנו אמונה שלמה, להאמין שהכל לטובה, לומר לך תודה. The meaning of the song is, Hashem put in us Emunah Shlema, that everything that you will do in this world, I believe in it, that is the best. And I will end up telling you, for this problem, Toda. Thank you, HaKadosh Baruch, for that situation. We have, Rabotai, if you want to reach happiness, that's the goal of happiness. That any situation you will have in the world, you will be able to see, Hashem, let me see that is the best for me. Let me reach to that level. That is the best for me. And the end I'm going to say for that situation, thank you, HaKadosh Baruch. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. Amen. This shiur, Rabotai, is going to take place every Tuesday, Beli Neder.